Hello, everybody. My name is John Matheson, and I'm 60 years old. And because I helped myself and because of the help of others, I retired at 40, which is 20 years ago. It is the time in my life where I feel that I must start giving back to this world. And I've been studying the videos and written work of Dr. Jordan B. Peterson so that I can, shall we say, explain things in his terms and other terms. His idea, which inspired me the most, and I'm sure there may be others, but for now, the idea is an open university of free education on the internet. And I believe that I have something to contribute and something to create, which are these videos that will make me feel that I've done something more than I did yesterday and make me feel that I'm getting further towards my goal of trying to increase the general educational level of people that use the internet. Internet can be used for mindlessness, and that's the problem. That's what most people are using it for, as sort of as an escape from reality. Ironically, the less you are in front of your screen and the more that you are out there, the more you will benefit. However, you have so many resources at your disposal while you are connected to the internet that it's almost criminal that you don't use them for learning. So I'm probably older than most of you. And, there's an old saying that you should respect your elders. However, everybody has to prove that they deserve some respect, which has been shown to be true until it is disproved. My academic background is considerably different from Dr. Jordan B. Peterson's. So I look at the world from a different perspective than he does. I know, as he does, that communism doesn't work. It just failed. It is economically ridiculous. Central planning does not create wealth, it only destroys wealth. That's why central planning is very good for war and production of weapons. If you want to destroy capital and you want to destroy the universe, use central planning. It's brilliant. Whereas if you want a society that grows, you have to look at the flag of Scotland, which is the graph of supply and demand, okay? Burn that into your mind. The flag of Scotland, the cross of St. Andrews, a field of blue with a diagonal cross on it, which is also the graph of supply and demand. That is why communism failed. It didn't have a pricing mechanism to determine the levels of production. If the price goes up, the supply rises as more people jump into the market and think that they can make a profit. As the price goes up, however, demand goes down as people don't have the money to buy whatever it is that's being produced. So the price has to be high enough to let people continue to produce, but it has to be low enough that people can buy it. So that's why there's a point at the middle where those two lines cross. That is the point where the most trade happens. That's where all the action generally is in society, where the two lines cross. And that is an economic law. Okay, it's a fact. If you have central planning, all you can do is ration. Right, you've produced 25,000 loaves of bread, and the first 25,000 people in line get them. And that's it. And either you're first in line, and everybody else doesn't get them, and there's just no other way to determine how many you need. There's no way that you can do a sondage or a sounding of the market through experiments and pricing and seeing what an initial demand might be and seeing whether you want to load more resources into that production to carry on producing. So supply and demand is an economic law. Was proven in 1975 at the Center for Advanced Study in Behavioral Sciences, which is an adjunct of Stanford University, by some people who I knew, that market economies produce more wealth, much more wealth than command economies do. And the proof was in the pudding. We were able to maintain military parity with the Soviet Union all through the Cold War. And meanwhile, we were living 10 to 20 times better of a lifestyle than they were. Our working class were buying cars, houses, some of them had cottages. Back in the glory days, the post-war, you could go to university for free, and it was very good. Things have changed now. Don't get me wrong. It's different now than it was in the post-war. That reason is because our system is now a worldwide system. So we don't have a closed market anymore, or the market is not as closed as it was before. So we've got a lot more competition. We led the way into this, but the whole world is getting better at us at doing it because they're coming up from a much lower level, and they have a lot more incentive to reach our lifestyle, which is going to give them a lot more growth, and people invest in growth rather than static. And so that's where, the new world is now Asia. It keeps going west, it keeps going round and round. So that is the economic reason. Free markets create more wealth than command economies do. And that was proven as a fact using mathematical modeling and stochastic programming. If you don't know what those things are, you can't really argue against Marxism, okay? Anyway, so that's the mathematical reason why Marxism failed. Now, there's also a philosophical reason why Marxism is wrong, okay? Well, Jordan Peterson can tell you all about all the death and the psychological and all that, bring it back to the Bible and all of that. I don't know, but anyway, he goes on, it's morally wrong because all these people died. Yes, of course. But let's take it down to a fundamental misconception that which is equal is equitable. Okay, and that's a fallacy. Okay, that which is equal is 2 equals 2. So that means everybody gets an equal thing. And that means in the principle that everyone is equal before the law. That means that everybody gets charged the same for an offense. Everyone should get the same sentence for an offense. And everyone should be treated the same in terms of what the law gives you in terms of your social benefits and access to education and social programs and healthcare and so on and so forth. So we're all equal before the law. Absolutely. But when you're the judge, you don't use that. You use a principle called equity. Equity is fairness, and there's a big difference between fairness and equality. Equity is when you have a bear that consumes 10,000 calories a day and you give him 10,000 calories, and you have a dog that consumes 500 calories a day and you give her 500 calories. Okay, it is fair to give the bear 10,000 calories, and it is fair to give the dog 500 calories because they both get enough to live and survive and eat. They both live, and it is fair. So what is equal is not what is fair. What is equitable is what is fair, because what is equitable considers each circumstance. So what Marxism did was, in a nutshell, it decided to cut society into two. Into a bourgeoisie. Okay, now say that after me 3 times. Bourgeoisie, not any other pronunciation, because, that's incorrect to say anything other than bourgeoisie. So anyway, now you know what equity is, okay? He divided society into the bourgeoisie and the proletariat, okay? And those 2 groups were then calculated out to calculate what the injustice of capitalism was, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. It didn't even consider the fact that there might have been somebody in the bourgeoisie who was favorable to the revolution, and it didn't even consider that somebody who was in the proletariat was against the revolution. So it did not consider each individual person individually, and therefore it was not fair and it was unjust. So any kind of attempt to divide society into groups is inequitable and unfair. Okay, so now we've dealt in 10 minutes with who I am, why Marxism failed, and why it is philosophically unfair. So we've also maybe learned the difference between equity and equality. The next lesson will be on how to learn. Thanks very much and have a great day. Bye bye.